Good morning. I thought I would do what I get up to in the country on the weekend. This is my dog Choco. He's 11 years young, toy poodle with multiple health issues. And this is my fit. You can tell if you're outsider or not from the way you dress, but I'm definitely fit in riding. And I found a slug on the floor, probably snuck in from outside. In summer, we go out to the beach for a walk before sunrise because it gets really hot, like 30 degrees by 7 a.m. But today is the first day that is much cooler, so I guess it's officially autumn! Yay! We can't walk on the beach today, but I'm slowly getting myself up to go out for brunch. The reason why I'm in the country is because of some family reasons, and I'm so grateful to be able to stay in the countryside whenever I want, and I absolutely love it. Also, the reason why Choco is wearing 2 cones is that he has this eye infection called SCAD, which is the reason we can't go to the beach this time. And my mom got him like a cushiony cone because the one we got from the vet is for cats and it butters his face by his big fluffy ears. He's getting better though, so bless him. Chiba Prefecture is much more accommodating for dogs because more people have pet dogs. And this cafe provides warm dog food as well. My dog Choco had a German quiche thing and he loves it. My mum and I got 2 plates to share to try a bit of everything. And another reason I adore this cafe is that it supports local businesses by using their locally produced food such as yogurt and sausages. And I feel like Japan is full of chain restaurants and cafes, so I really like supporting local businesses instead of the rich empires, if you know what I mean. It's autumn now, meaning lobster season is here. I feel like a whole lobster on a pizza is a bit extra though. The main event at the festival is this lobster grabbing thing. You can pick a lobster of your choice for 850 yen per 100 gram. They'll cut it alive and they'll grill it in front of you to eat it at the same place. And I actually tried that with my friend Eliza this time last year. If you're watching this, I miss you so much. It's definitely underrated for how beautiful this place is, because the population is declining really fast in the southern Chiba. I was gonna say China. This is also my happy place, aka Kinds, because you can literally get everything you want except fresh food. I'm an annoying sister who wants to show everything to him. I always walk past every aisle every time to see anything catches my eye. This time the soap that stamps a heart shape on the hand, I think it went viral on TikTok a long time ago and I wanted to try it, but I already had a soap at home so I didn't get it and I kept going. I always try the fitness machines on display though. It keeps me entertained every time. I don't think I will be the only one who does this, honestly. But this old grandma told me, kawaii. So I told Choco, she told you cute. Like I always do when he gets compliment. He looked at me like, yeah, I know, bitch. He's a smart cookie. And just like that, it was already past noon. and it was time for some snack while I think of a million reasons to not run afterwards. I cannot run in the morning in the country because one time I did it, a spider nest caught my face and it has traumatized me ever since. When I finally managed to get ready, my dad showed me his veggies that are ready to eat. Most of his veggies are often eaten by animals this summer, just like every year, so we don't get them often. We have animals like rabbits, wild pigs, raccoons, and more importantly, kion. They are a Taiwanese animal that escaped from a zoo years ago, and they've been breeding like rabbits ever since. I really like running in the country though, because there are no pedestrians and no traffic lights. And this is actually my first time running to the beach. I was so glad I made it. I was hungry, so I had this plum jelly which was delicious. And this beach had a lot of shells and so some cute shells. So I was literally an otter trying to get the sand out to take them home. When I got out of the 7-Eleven, that's when I realized I effed up.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Must be joking. Yes, first world problem, I know. Not only the money part, but also they're gonna be the shoes that I was gonna wear for the race next weekend. I immediately lost all my motivation, but this was not the rock bottom. Trigger warning. Snake! And it's big as well. Oh my gosh, I just thought I was gonna run faster, and then I just saw this. I'm so traumatized. Oh well, it is what it is. I just need to run home. Let's do it. Yes, I don't like reptiles or any slimy objects. My motivation is to get home before it gets dark. Otherwise, you're gonna get attacked by animals. Just kidding. It's just gonna be pitch dark. And guys, this is my favorite drink. PSA, it's so good. It barely tastes like alcohol. The broth is only made with water and sake, and the rest comes from the flavors of pork and veggies. It's so nice and comforting to eat something warm in the cooler weather. It really feels like summer is officially over, despite the fact we still get some warmer days. We ended with egg rice congee. My mother put shiodashi, which is like a Japanese soup base, rice, bring it to boil, then eggs. I feel like every Japanese person would appreciate this combination. I've been borrowing this book from the library for almost a year now because I don't read often, but I'm finally reading it, and it's about unconscious gender bias, and I can definitely recommend reading it, especially for men. For example, they talk about why we have the same space allocated for both male and female bathrooms when female bathrooms always have longer lines. I feel like a lot of time has passed at this point, but it's still 7:30 p.m. My dog is deep asleep though, as if it's midnight. It's pitch dark outside, so I really feel like I'm staying up late. Choco actually looks like a rat because he has this really soft hair compared to other toy poodles, so his forehead always looks flat as. And this is me trying to get Choco up to take his $200 eardrops. The reason why it's expensive is that it comes from real placenta. So expensive because it has to come from humans, but this thing has been working like magic. This time last year, we went to a different vet. He had the same condition. It took him 3 months to heal. This time, it's only been a week and he's already getting much better. My mother did a nebulizer on him later because sometimes he has difficulty breathing. Poor Choco. He doesn't like it, but he ends up falling asleep every single time. Ohio. What I did today is more accurate of what I normally do when I'm out here in the country, because I don't always go out for a long run. I normally take my mask off as a consultant and live as if I live here. A local person once asked me if I go to a high school, so honestly at this age I'll definitely take that compliment. I normally do some gardening or housework and try to still use my time as productive as I possibly can. This is the breakfast I normally eat. It's very classic Japanese breakfast, except it's missing the main dish and some veggies on the side, but I like to keep it very simple. This is where I get to do some proper cooking. There's actually enough space on the kitchen bench to fit a chopping board without putting it over the sink. Luxury for someone living in a tiny apartment. I've always loved baking, so I've made some things like bagels and cookies, and I also like trying out new food, especially non-Japanese dishes, since they are not as accessible as they were back in Australia. Plus, my mom's Japanese cooking is much better anyway. Living in the countryside means fewer distractions, so it's the little things that really bring me joy. You might be wondering, hey Lisa, what's it like living in the countryside in Japan? Well, while I don't live here full time, I've stayed here long enough to give you the scoop. First thing you'll notice, most of the people here are elderly, and there are cats everywhere. The community vibes is strong because generations of families have lived here, and everyone's pretty friendly. For instance, people bow even though they're driving past each other. It's kind of nice, but also a little funny to see. Of course, they don't do that if they're not from local, like neighbors do that to each other. Being a good neighbor is a big deal. Since I'm not a full-time resident, I don't take part in some of the local activities, like monthly road maintenance, like cutting the weed, mostly done by mail, or community fire department, which is kind of like compulsory for locals. The community is really old school in some ways. For example, there's no email or online system for neighborhood announcements. Everything is person to person. Once, a neighbor even dropped by with a huge basket of homegrown veggies. It's not unusual around here. People often trade goods instead of buying them in a supermarket. It's charming, though some might feel the pressure to participate in the community activities even when they prefer privacy. But if they have lived over generations, it's kind of embedded in their habits. I think Japanese people really value community in the country, partly because they had to band together through so many natural disasters. There are definitely pros and cons to this kind of close-knit lifestyle. I personally enjoy this kind of atmosphere because I am social, but I can see how it might be overwhelming at times if you just want quiet, isolated, alone time. I didn't realize when you're working for someone full-time how important we should use the time as productive as possible on the weekend, until I had to work every weekend consistently and I couldn't make time for myself. Because of how it made me feel, I naturally started using more time wisely, because we all have the same time in a day. How you use is totally up to you. It didn't really feel right to me to still dedicate my time towards work even though I'm supposed to take a day off, But at the same time, I'm so proud of myself for dealing with it for almost 6 months. But I have so much respect for those who have to sacrifice their weekends. Speaking from my experience, it's mentally draining. It has actually affected me mentally a lot, and I really struggled to keep going with everything that's going on in my life. But this experience, however, became some sort of reminder to use my time as meaningful as possible, and how grateful I am to be able to sleep without having to wake up multiple times. So now I wake up much earlier, and I'm a bit more consistent with my YouTube videos. If you are in a pickle in life, just think there are always ways to get out. Yes, I know I'm extremely privileged to have a job with a great security. In Japan, people cannot get laid off like it is like in America. I knew people in my role are getting exactly the same pay, but with significantly less stress and better lifestyle. Although I tried to break through it by enduring for months, since I was not the only one, but only female in the team. It was a deal breaker for me when I could not sleep every second day, and more importantly, could not train for a marathon. I don't really mind working long hours because I've grown stronger working in this industry and in this country. You know, if you train, but sleep is the most important aspect of training. And waking up fatigued to work another day, I could not do anything else better than doing my day work. And then it started affecting me physically first, and then mentally, by not being able to do things like I like doing outside of work. There are a few things I learned from this experience though. First, do not trust anyone. I like the fact people around me are really nice and supportive. However, at the end of the day, no one cares about you except yourself. You are the only person who can take a good care of yourself and define what you deserve. I felt years thinking about starting my YouTube channel, but because of how people might think of my channel and their judgment, I kept putting it off. But entering into my late 20s, I started not give a shit about what others think, and I feel much more free and content with myself. Another thing I learned is that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Although you might feel resentment and guilt, at the end of the day, you are the only creator of your own happiness. I didn't realize how important it is to advocate for your happiness and mental health. After regaining work-life balance, I feel a lot more productive during work every day, and definitely feeling more content with my life. 角角角角角角。ほらほらほらほらほらほら。いやいや。そこそこそこそこそこ。I appreciate you still watching my video. I didn't know people can be so nice to me on the internet because of all the hate comments I see on social media. I don't understand why people can be so mean on the internet. So thank you for being here. And just like that, weekend comes to an end. Even though I did a lot of work, I feel recharged and ready for the week ahead. It's nice to be present in the moment, and I hope you feel that too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!